All right, I'm a little closer on this thing. I got the intercooler in, and I bought the radiator adapter pieces today. Between what I bought and what I had from the stock parts, I was able to adapt this from 7/8 to 5/8. This chunk here is from the original. I just cut the line down. I also saved all my extra parts and pieces. Just noticed that's gray, but it's gonna have the filter on it. But I'm probably gonna touch that up looking at it. You can see that that's not quite painted all the way. So I'll do that a little bit better. And this will give you a better look at what we're doing here. Saw this all in the last video. And then if anybody knows what this plug is, if I can reach it. Of course, it's pinched in between everything now. If anybody knows what that plug is on a 3rd gen, I'd like to know. Pretty sure this one went to the turbo, and this doesn't have the stock turbo. But this one, I'm not sure where it goes. And I'd like to know before I install my intake and everything else, because then it's going to be harder to get to that. So, if anybody knows, here's the colors too, give you a better idea. And then once again, there's the plug. And I did get all these intercoolers pipes done. The intake's getting painted. This needs to get touched up, but it's sort of painted. It's a crappy spot to get in without hitting anything. And that's the issue with this one. Fuel line's on. I still need to prime the system for fuel. New slave cylinders installed. Haven't even pushed the clutch in yet. Gonna wait until it starts for the first time. Trying to think of what else. Definitely rounding the corner on getting this thing started. Oh, I gotta fill the coolant up. I did the oil change when it was inside the garage, so that's done. Yeah, that coolant line's new, that's finished. So the system's ready to fill now. In theory, hopefully I got no leaks. Pretty sure that's gonna hold. And compared to the last setup where it goes from down there, in between there, and then it comes back up, and it goes right across the block, and then it comes out on the other side of this turbo. Bad design, that's a lot of heat. I'm hoping this one will kind of be hidden once the intake's in and stuff. I think it looks good compared to how it looked before. And it's also running a bigger hose, so it should be more flow to that piece and not up against the engine block. So between those two things, it should be way cooler. And I also got that coolant bypass, so every part of this should cycle pretty dang good now as far as the coolant system. Whereas before, I think there's a few design flaws on these that should be changed. This possibly being one of them. As long as I don't have a problem with that back thermostat, this will be a good thing, but I am a little worried about that because it's impossible to get to pretty much once your motor's installed. But see what happens. I'm hoping for the best. And I'm thinking it should be good, really. I mean, I added a whole bunch of RVT seal, so hopefully it's good and everything else is good to go. I'm gonna paint that intake. Eventually I'm gonna take that line out and repaint it. Might even do that now while I'm painting. Doesn't sound like a bad idea. Loosen that up, get that out, repaint it. Still waiting on the parts for this swap and the grid heater delete. So that'll be next, and that whole thing will get painted as well. Once I get those parts in, it should look pretty freaking good. I can't wait. Already it looks way better than it did in the blue truck, that's a fact. And then once I match all the white truck's tones to this gold, I think it'll look good. I'm happy with it. This side came out way better because there was nothing to scratch it on.